Welcome to the podcast. Nice to have you on, Tracy.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
No, it's great. So do you want to, talk through kind of what's your part in the business? What do you do at NEXT?
So I'm the manager of the product testing department. The department itself covers apparel, we cover footwear, upholstery, and we test the product to ensure that it's fit for purpose. So we'll test for colour testing, physical testing, we pull products apart, just to make sure in general that it is a good quality product that NEXT is supplying.
And why is that important? Like, why is it important we test it so rigorously?
Well, one, it will obviously give the brand a good name. We test it vigorously to ensure that there are no returns or complaints.
Okay.
We test from research and development right through to bulk. We take product out of warehouse as well. So we're doing due diligence testing, as well as sampling, testing from the beginning, seeing if there are any issues. And it just gives the NEXT brand the quality seal on top of all the work that everybody else does to get that product to the customer.
Because that's something we pride ourselves on, isn't it, as
Absolutely.
well? Yeah, it's a big thing.
And it's not something that we just do for sort of NEXT within the business. We are accredited ourselves. We have external bodies come in and accredit us. We have the United Kingdom Accreditation Service that will accredit us for international standard testing. We have SATRA, that are the footwear body.
Right.
So we're accredited by them each year, and also BSI, because now our upholstery is kite marked. So we're approved by BSI as well.
And what do all those accreditations give us? Like, what's...
So they give us, that proves that our testing facility runs a quality standard system that's International Standard 17025. So we can reproduce anything everywhere. We can prove every batch of fabric that's gone through, every testing line that we've used, even every batch of washing powder. We have to record everything from start to finish.
Oh, wow.
So if there's any complaint, for whatever reason, of a test that we've issued, we can either work out if it was a machine that went wrong, if it was a person, if it was a consumable that we bought to use.
And you mentioned all the different areas. So are you testing pretty much every single NEXT product?
We don't test everything.
Not
everything,
no.
Because
there's a lot.
Yeah, there's an awful lot. And we have laboratories accredited offshore and within the UK. So we run independent accreditation, which are the independent laboratories that we use, such as Intertech, BV, SGS. We also accredit our mill lab. So if we have a supplier that has its own mill lab, we assess them to carry out their own testing, and if they pass each year, they're accredited to perform their own testing each year.
Oh, so we're not only have we been accredited, we accredit other people as well.
Because what NEXT have done is they've made international standards their own. So we have a whole portfolio of NEXT test methods for apparel, upholstery, and for footwear.
Right.
They've been tweaked slightly to make them more stringent, and we then test majority of the NEXT products to the NEXT test methods rather than international standards.
Right, so we've gone, this is the minimum international, and then we've gone, no, we'll do better than that.
We're doing a bit better.
We're going to do better than that.
Yeah.
And then we try and raise the bar with suppliers and mills and other people as well.
That's correct, yeah.
Wow.
But while this is all happening, obviously, we can take information from all the laboratories as well to improve our testing or our standards.
Yeah.
And because we write our own methods, we have got obviously a selection that are based on international standards, but we've also got a selection that are just purely written for NEXT.
Right.
So it crosses over quite a big area.
Yeah. Loads to think of and consider. And has that been set up over the years, has it?
As far as I'm aware, the laboratory's been at NEXT over 35 years.
Wow.
I've been here 20 now, and it's grown massively. From when I started, there were around 5 of us. There's 10 of us now. We brought in footwear 8 years ago. And yeah, things just keep developing. We've just had a new machine delivered at the end of last year that we're just getting up and running now for light fastness testing.
For Fastness.
Light fastness. So
what's
it's
that?
fading. So if you put your sofa
light
in the in a conservatory or near a window or anything and you don't have any blinds in it, we can test it to say roughly how long it's going to take before it all fade. So.
Wow. Because, I guess, that's quite important because then otherwise people are going to come back and go, oh, you sold me this sofa.
And it's changed colour.
Yeah. But we need to tell people if you leave it in direct sunlight for 2 years, it's going to change colour.
Yeah, they're going to change. So, and again, with NEXT, we test to a higher standard than what the general domestic upholstery tells us that we need to test to as well.
So you mentioned a couple of times there the lab. What is that like? So you've got different machines that are due.
So in there we have a wet lab, which is obviously generally wet testing. So we test for colour fastness to wash in, so if it's going to change colour in the wash or stain anything. We do fastness to water, which is a contact stain. So if you went out, say got your jeans wet, then sat on a cream chair, you'll know if there's going to be any contact. Obviously the rubbing where you get denim jeans rub on trainers. We do stability, so you've got all your shrinkage testing. Print durabilities, there's DuraWash, which is similar to an old-fashioned twin tub. So we do all appliques, sequins, rhinestones, any kind of things like that. They're all assessed for washing. We have a room that will just test abrasion and Swiss pilling and modified martindale. So that's anything that's going to have holes in it, anything that's going to pill. There's another room that we use where it's just anything that pulls apart, so anything that pulls off, any seams that come apart, bows, buttons, zips, tearing of fabric, strength of fabrics.
And is that your team literally like pulling it?
It's a machine that does it. Yeah, it has to be a constant rate of extension machine because to duplicate the testing worldwide, you've got to have a machine that pulls at the same speed, at the same pressure.
Yeah.
And so all the machines are serviced and calibrated twice a year, just to make sure that nothing goes out of calibration. So it's quite intense department, really.
Yeah, quite rigorous processing as well, and it's got to be.
Yeah.
It's got to be. If you're testing something, you've got to have everything fair as well, haven't you? Like you said there with the machinery, if it's all...
That's it, because you've got to be able to duplicate it around the world, and obviously with humidity, temperatures, different hours that people work, the rooms can get hotter and colder, the amount of people that are in there. So all the rooms are set at 20 degrees C and 65% relative humidity as well.
Oh, I like the sound of that. That's not too bad. Yeah, that's all right.
It's not too bad.
No.
So the fabrics reach an equilibrium so that every fabric is tested at the same amount of moisture content as well.
Right.
And then say with the washing, just going back into the wet lab with the washing machines, they all have the same. They're all monitored to make sure they have the same spin speed, the same water levels, so and obviously the temperatures of it. So,
how do you get into this? Like, it's not
accidentally, I think.
It's not something because it's at the Enderby campus, isn't it?
It is. Yes.
So how do you get into that? Like have you always been in this industry?
So I started in textiles. I worked in a hosiery company when I first left school, worked through sort of quality. I was the only female knitter in the UK.
What?
As well, yeah. I had my own set of knitting machines that I ran. I left there in 1998, and after 10 years, went to work at a test lab in Derby. I did a little bit of everything in there. While I was there, I worked as an implant in another retailer for 3 days a week and met one of the guys that actually came here to be the fabric manager.
Oh, and then you came to NEXT.
Then I got a call saying, do you want to come and work at the lab? And I was like, yeah, why not? Stopgap for a year or two. 20 years later,
wow.
I'm still here.
Wow.
Yeah.
What's kept you here?
Everything, really. I think it's the people, we are in a building on our own. So I say the people because it's generally my team and the fabric and garment techs that come in and out. The general management, anything that we ask for, if we need it, machines break down, anything like that. We don't seem to hit a wall with anything. NEXT invest well in our department. I think about 8 years ago, we had a huge investment where we redesigned the entire lab. to make more room to bring in the footwear testing. And then since then, there's probably been at least another 6 or 7 pieces of test equipment that we needed, or that people will ask for and say, can you do this in your lab?
Yeah.
And we'll see if we've got the room. And again, say the last piece of kit we've had a room built, we've had extraction put in, we've had extra plumbing put in, the machine's in. And again, it'll make the product better because we can control what's happening. And say the investment with it, it's just second to none at the minute.
Yeah, and because I guess, is this quite common in the industry or not?
Nope.
No, it's not.
Our
no.
testing facility is the only lab in a retailer. But it's not just our retailer's lab. Like I say, it's not just NEXT Lab, because we are UCAS accredited. We're classed as an independent as well.
Oh, so we could take another retailer's product if we had to.
Because we have to follow confidentiality and impartiality agreements as part of our UCAS accreditation. So we can be a standalone lab.
Right.
As well as a NEXT Lab. But no, NEXT are the only retailer that has a test facility.
Wow, because that's how important it is to us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's one of the things that even at the last set of year-end results, whether it was in the report or if it was something the CEO Simon shared, that the quality of product is definitely something that we're going to continue to focus on,
absolutely.
Isn't it?
It's got to be, because you can't keep a business thriving like NEXT is when you're not carrying out basic quality standards.
No, because I guess it's kind of a snowball effect, really, isn't it? Like if you're not working, because you will be working with the product teams a lot, like all day, every day.
Yeah.
So if the product's not right, we can't put it on site. If we can't put it on site, we can't sell it, or we can't put it in stores, we can't sell it. If we can't sell it, we can't make profit.
That's it.
Yeah, so kind of if you're not testing it, or if we do put products out there, we're going to have to recall, and then that's...
The thing is with the lab as well, with the extra facility of it is, if we sent something off to an independent, because there's not many independents in the UK anymore, there's quite a few that have closed down or reduced the amount of testing that they do here, we can actually, if we've got somebody bring a product over today... Literally today, and say, can we have a report by Monday afternoon without conditioning, so we have to put the deviations and everything on the report, we can do some testing for them. But if we got the product here today, I was a tech and got the product here today and had to send it then externally, they're not going to get it till Monday. Right. They might not put it in test until Tuesday. Yeah. You might not get any results till Wednesday or Thursday. We've already tested and issued a report by this time.
Right, so it's speed to market as well. Yeah,
it is. And so with part of the due diligence testing that we do with the wash audits and things, we call product down from the warehouse. We wash in a domestic machine, sort of like you would here at home. So as soon as it's here, we test it. Within a few days, it's out, and that's as soon as it's hit warehouse. Where if, again, you're having to call product from warehouse, send it to other retail or other independents, get it all tested, you can be talking a week or two.
Because why do we test when it goes into the warehouse and at the start as well?
It's an extra just due diligence testing that NEXT perform,
And is that part of this is our standard?
That's it.
That we want to do this. Like that's really good because I guess from when you first test it, is that with the supplier and the product teams with the sample? Yeah,
and it can be from right at the beginning where a fabric tech's gone to a factory, come back with some samples and just said, oh, can you test those for colour fastness or a print or whatever, just as a basic test. So it can start from there and it can go right through to product and it can be anything in between as well.
Right, got you. And I guess you have to do it then when it comes in, just as that almost final check to be like, right, does this match up with what we tested right at the start?
Yeah.
Yeah. And what sort of, say like my tea, what kind of things would you be testing on it? Like,
so on your tea, we'd do the colour fastness. So you'd have fastness to washing, you'd have your water, you'd have your rubbing, you'd have stability, obviously for shrinkage, and you'd do a spirality to see if the side seams twist.
Right. Okay.
So we have to do that as well. Probably that would be a basic test.
Yeah.
On there. I mean, obviously, depending on when we've started dealing with the supplier, if it's early stages, etc., there's all the chemical testing that have to be performed, which will be azo dyes, if there's any restricted substances in there. That's managed generally by the fabric technologist to ensure that that's all done, but we do have some product in that we then send externally to have that tested.
Right.
Just to make sure that we're covered all the restricted substance standards, all the physical standards, all the colour standards, before anybody hits the button to say, yeah, you can produce that now.
Wow. So you're almost like an extension of the product team, aren't you, as well? Yeah, really. And who are your kind of main people within the product team? You said product technologists a lot. Is it?
We mainly deal with the fabric technologists, and then there will be some garment techs, depending on what somebody wants testing. Depends which sort of area it falls under.
And why did we choose to expand to footwear as well? What was the reason for that?
Because I think from back in the beginning, there were testing standards, and we spend quite a lot of money sending them out externally to be tested. And to have the lab redeveloped and the equipment purchased, we recoup the money within about 5 years.
Oh, okay.
So it's cost effective, and again, it's easier to have it tested here. If, again, dropping it in, can you test it?
Yeah.
Conditioning times are a lot different for the footwear. But then we rate our next footwear test methods on the back of that as well. So we have suppliers and independents that are accredited again for the next footwear test methods. So there's another trip coming up in July where we'll go out to India to accredit suppliers and independents.
Okay, so you're getting the travel part of the role as well, because I guess
unfortunately,
unfortunately.
No. After a while, it's we're training people up. We're training more of the team up now, right? Because there are only two of us, then 3 of us that could do it. But we're gonna have half the team, so we're gonna have 6.
Oh, nice.
That can travel, because it's just whenever we're away, there's 2 of us, sometimes 3, and when you get away for 2-3 weeks at a time, and then come back. And then have to try and pick everything up. Plus the fact the guys that are actually performing the testing know more about the testing than anybody.
Right.
So we're getting the technicians to actually now be trained as accreditors to go out and watch other people perform the testing, because they do it as bread and butter. So they know more than anybody.
Yeah.
Of whether they're doing it right or wrong.
Got you. So they're living and breathing it. Yeah. So why not?
Why not?
Yeah, they'll spot things quicker and easier. Yeah. 100%.
Because the majority of the accreditations, the same as when UCAS and SATRA come in here, they follow a guidance, sort of a sheet to, can you do this? Have they done that? Have they looked at this? But sometimes when you go somewhere, they might have to prep the samples first, so you miss something in preparation. Right. And it could be quite crucial.
What do you mean by you miss some, like, prep the samples?
Yeah, so on say a shoe, you cut in sole bond, you have to cut sort of around the shoe, you have to cut a sample out the side.
Got you.
If they've not cut it far enough back or far enough forward, you can get part of the peel start before the test's actually carried on. If you've clamped it, it's already coming apart.
Right.
So it gives an unfair result, really.
Right, okay. God, there's a lot of detail then in everything. In every single test.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because like you said, even on this tee, there was like 4 different tests you'd say you'd do.
Yeah.
But then the detail in that to look out for it. But then also you've got to do it quite quickly.
Yeah, 3-day turnaround.
3-day turnaround.
So we get on clothing's 3-day, unless you're what we call a fast track is 2 days. Apparel's 5 to 7 days. Upholstery's 5 to 7 days, and apparel 3-day. Footwear depends on the testing, because some conditioning's 48 hours, and we can't, whatever the conditioning standards are, we can't.
Just because you've got to leave it at that time. Yeah. And when you're going out, and when your team will be trained up and going out, what kind of places they're going to? Suppliers or?
Generally mill labs.
So there will be
suppliers.
So right at the start, to the fabric. Yeah.
Yeah. So with footwear, it will be where the shoes are manufactured, but with apparel, it will be the production line, because generally their labs are at the end of the line. So they'll process the fabric, they'll dye it, then they test it before it goes in to be made as a garment.
Oh, so you're going right to source.
So literally at the end of the line as they come off.
Wow. Yeah, because the fabric is so important, isn't it? Well, especially to the product teams as well, and they've got to know. And I guess then when the product teams are then working and building the product, if they know that's already been checked by you at source from that supplier.
Well, it gives the product team more confidence as well in their supply. I mean, obviously they go as well, so they'll know what they see.
Okay.
But they go to their own areas or their own fabric teams or their sourcing offices. We go into the factory, like the fabric techs do, into the dye houses, testing labs, say usually at the end of the dye house. But because we're going and we're in the testing lab and we're in the back, some factories kind of switch off to think that we're not looking at everything else as we go through. So you still check to make sure there's no band dyes there, that there's no obviously children working, things like that, which did happen many, many years ago. It doesn't now, thankfully, or I haven't seen it for many years. But there's also other things that you can look out for, which then, if there was anything, we'd just tell the techs or the code of practice team when we're back. But same as like some of the guys go out to their factories, if they haven't been before, they can be given a tour of the factory, and then I get a phone call going, oh, there's a lab at this factory, do you want to accredit it? And then we start the process with the lab to try and get them on board.
Right. And how many have we accredited, do you know?
There's about 120 independents and about 150 mil labs.
Really?
Supply labs, yeah.
That we've next accredited.
Yes. And that have been on a rolling basis.
And how often? Because that's not one time, is it? I guess.
No. So I mean, so we brought the accreditation. I think the accreditation's been in house now for probably about 18 years. So obviously it's developed over that time, and people have dropped off, other people have added on, people have left and come back to the scheme when the business has increased again. But I'd say within the scheme, we do it's like a bronze, silver, gold award. Yeah. So if the bronze, we go each year for 2 years, and if they're okay, we move up to silver, then we go a third year, then we don't visit for a couple of years. But we run correlation packs in between. So we'll send them samples of fabric out for the tests that they've selected. So whether it's colour, stability, any of the seams, abrasion, pilling, things like that, we send them out, they'll test them, send the samples back with a report, and then we assess it against all the other couple of hundred labs that are on the same, testing those same fabrics. But in that as well, to make sure that we're doing our job correctly, we also run internal testing with our technicians. So they'll have their own correlation packs that we'll then double check with a lab in the UK, one in India and one in the Far East, so that our technicians are checked as well. And they'll do that for NEXT testing, for the British Standard testing, and for SATRA.
Wow. It's like everyone's testing everyone, isn't it?
Yeah,
literally.
And we're also assessed by internal audits as well.
So it's like, we'll test you test us, and then
and
we'll
you
test
check
ourselves.
that one's checking that one.
Yeah, God.
If something went wrong, it could be very costly. See, that's the problem.
That's why.
If you got an order delivered and there was something majorly wrong with it, the impact on the customer, on Next, on getting everything recalled, or even actually advertising a recall is not brilliant.
No.
So to check the checker is a good thing to do.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
So we have a huge paper trail.
Yeah, and rightly so. And also, it's just to, like you said with the product teams, give everyone the reassurance, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
To make sure everyone can just do the best job.
That's it. Double checks for everybody.
Yeah, very, very, very busy then.
Very.
Very, very busy.
Yeah.
Because, and I presume it's menswear, womenswear, kidswear, home. Yeah. All our major products.
And now some of the brands.
Oh, some of the total platform brands.
Some of the total platform, yeah. We're getting bits through on, so.
Wow.
Yeah. But it's good.
No, it is good.
It is good because it's good to see over the years how the quality has really improved as well. Because I think with the accreditation programs, suppliers know that they're being checked.
Right. So you can't cut corners, basically. No, it's like there's no cutting corners here. No. That's good. And then I guess like you said, it sounds like as well, it doesn't sound, am I right in saying it's not, we're telling you to do, it's more of a collaboration rather than do this. It's like,
Yeah.
It's beneficial on both sides,
It's
isn't it?
beneficial for everybody.
Yeah.
And like I say, I mean, we can go into a factory and there's something that we spot that's not right with regards to their testing. But then other things when you can stand and have a conversation and they'll say, well, with your method, maybe if you tweak that a little bit, it'd show you this. And we have rewritten methods over the years, so it works. It does work.
Oh, that's really good. And what's your favourite part of the role? Like, what do you really, really enjoy about it?
The fact that you can come in and you not know what's going to happen.
Right, okay.
Because no 2 days are ever the same.
Right.
But it's just, I don't know. I think it's seeing the product actually go out the door, knowing that we've said that it's okay. But it's just the fact of general chat with people, everything that goes off. And it's amazing how much we actually know.
Right.
Like sometimes when we've had questions of different things with regard to different testing, and I try not to know it. So if there's something coming that I don't know, by the end of the day, I'll know it.
Right, so it's kind of that you're always learning.
Everybody's learning. Every day is a school day. Literally every day is a school day in there, because we have products we've never seen before. Believe it or not, there will be stuff in that's processed differently. We get things in that have been a customer complaint, and it's trying to duplicate how it actually got to that stage. So there's quite a lot of sort of digging about with it. And then obviously different products, they're endless. We look at different things all the time, different fabrics, different finishes, different ways of attaching things. So, yeah, it just keeps changing and changing.
And if you were going to kind of, give someone a bit of advice of joining NEXT, what would you say to them? What bit of advice would you give in terms of why come?
Why not? Would be the question.
Okay.
Would be the question.
Okay.
No, in respect for myself, like I said earlier on, I came as a stopgap for something to do back into testing that I might like. But since I've been here, again, the different techs that I've worked with, the management team, the way that NEXT support everybody, I couldn't think of anything that would give a reason for someone not to come. I don't think, I've ever got up in the morning and thought, oh no, I've got to go back.
No, it's not that kind of place, is it?
Absolutely not. And so my team, there are new ones because we've expanded, but I've been here 20 years. I think one of the team's 25 years. And then since we expanded 8 years ago, they're from 8 years. And then we've just had 3 new recruits. So they're all, my team are long standers.
Yeah. And there's a lot of knowledge there as well, I guess. Yeah. So why not, eh? Why not join? Why not join NEXT?
That's it.
Yeah.
Literally, it's not not a give a reason why I wouldn't. It's tell me a reason why I wouldn't.
Yeah. No, I mean, great. Fire the question straight back at them. But no, it's been really good having you on.
Thank you.
I mean, loads of detail. I mean, I can just tell from talking to you that you're just passionate about it as well. Yeah, you really are passionate about it, and it's really important. I think it's one of those roles at NEXT that the scale, you don't always understand the scale of that we're working at, but again, real vital part of the whole process to ensure that we get the very best product. So thanks for coming on and talking about it.
No problem at all. Thank you for inviting me.